choice. It's either hoop or be a dope boy. I wanna roll in a Rolls Royce, but when you young and black, you ain't got no voice. His homie stabbed him in the back, watch for your own boy. She sold him.
So one of the misconceptions, though, about lobby day, and it's something that I learned too. I had heard about lobbying, or I had seen people who show up on buses with signs and, you know, no more, whatever their cause was, right? And what I learned the first time I actually did it was that's not how you do it. It's all about small meetings so that you can be heard. When you're in a big group holding up signs and yelling, that may work for some things. That may work for Black Lives Matter, right? That may work for police reform. That may work for a lot of things, but it doesn't always work for actually getting them to listen.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I did it in DC, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is very cool. And meetings, I love having meetings. How many meetings do we have all the time? Like a lot.
That was one of the things we talked about in the lobby day workshop. So I feel like that's what really helped us, because we, you know, had kind of lost track of you all. And then we ended up in that meeting. I still don't really know how we ended up in that meeting, but I do know that we kept saying, okay, let's break up. Let's go. You talk to this person, you talk over here. So it has to be some type of strategy behind it. But not only that, I was actually talking to a state legislator. I can't remember her name, but she was saying that not only does it take lobbying, but we have to put action and actually write the legislation out. Because they have
That's the hard part.
Coming across their desk.
Yeah.
Not only do we need them to listen, but we have to kind of spoon feed them a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
what can you, or where do you think people like us should start in learning that process?
That's difficult. I'm still learning it. But what I did learn is that it doesn't have to, when you start writing, it doesn't have to look like it doesn't start where it ends up. Like I said, when we threw spaghetti at the wall, we said, we want this, we want that, we want all this stuff. It really starts with a list of stuff you want. It doesn't look like, it doesn't get into law language until much later. It all just starts with ideas, pieces of paper. You don't have to say whereas, wherefore, henceforth, and this, thus and such. You don't have to do all that.
I feel like that's a barrier to entry for a lot of stuff, but specifically around the laws and policy and understanding what things mean. For example, like the
fair tax thing.
That's what I was about to say, the fair tax. Like, okay, they're calling it the fair tax. Is it fair?
Who's it fair to? What is it? What's it fair?
Why is it named that? Why is it named
Let's
this?
talk about the psychology here. Like, what?
Yeah.
Got no choice. It's either hoop or be a dope boy. I wanna roll in a Rolls Royce, but when you young and black, you ain't got no voice. His homie stabbed him in the back, watch for your own boy. She sold him.